Hi, my name's Paul Vandermeer and I'll be taking you through the Interactive-Knowledge.biz Quit Targa West 2012 Fuel Planner. The first page you see when you open up is the instruction sheet. It's very simple. We'll be filling in some details, entering in some fuel amounts, and you'll then be ready to print off and provide a copy to your crew. If you like what you see, please send me some feedback using the email link at the bottom here. Let's get into it. Across the bottom of the page you'll see the instructions, details, and then the days of the event schedule, which is the summary of everything and changes from previous versions. Start with details. That's getting all your car details into the spreadsheet. Here on the detail sheet we fill in information that mostly shows later on in the sheets that we look at. There's spaces for the team, owner, driver, refuelers, the make and model of car, the competition number, type of fuel, and the values we'll use to calculate the fuel. There's also a summary of how much fuel you actually need for the event and on each leg, and a little box here that tells you whether you put enough fuel in to do the event. You can change the values in the green boxes, and when you change this value, this is kilometres per litre, and it'll automatically convert into litres per 100 kilometres if that's what you're used to. Change the value, and the litres per 100 kilometres changes as well. The values here are typical for an Evolution Lancer. I've filled in some fictitious information here. Our driver and co-driver will appear on later pages, as will details of the car, including the number, and this information will be for display purposes, as will the fuel type. The values that will really be used are the kilometres per litre for competition and between stages. You need to make sure that you have the same value in the fuel tank capacity as your tank size, and your reserve value typically would use 15, but you'd normally use 10 as an absolute minimum. In this case we'll stick with 15. So from the details page we'll move on to the first day of competition, which is the Thursday. Thursday includes the prologue and leg 1 section 1, all at Whiteman Park. At the top of the page you'll see details that have been brought across from the details page, and this is how we go about calculating our fuel. The car will have some fuel in it now, so let's just say it has 20 litres of fuel in it, and let's say that we are going to fill it up, so we need another 35 litres to match our 55 litre tank size, so 55 litres. And we're going to go to Burswood on the way through, and that's about 35 kilometres to get there. So you see it's automatically calculating the numbers, and we have the values running down. Now that'll be enough fuel to get us to the end of that day with 27.8 litres of fuel on board. The spreadsheet is set up so that the green cells are cells that you're able to actually change. So I've gone back to the Thursday here, and if we decided that we needed to put in a different value or a different name, it's just a simple matter of typing into those cells, and the values will be calculated through. So if you decide you don't want to play at the BP resolution drive, it'll add those values back into the cell. You can change the name of the green cells, you can change the distances in the green cells. Let's have a look at what's going on Friday, and you'll see here we've got the low fuel warnings come into play something after the Caltex on Great Eastern Highway. All we need to do here is to work out where we want to put fuel in to keep that low fuel figure from showing up. So let's having a look at this. We've got about 20 litres after the RAC driving centre stage, so let's pop in another 20 litres and see how far we get there. That takes us down to Kalamunda service, and so we've got a refuel here at the Caltex, put another 20 in there, and we've got enough to get us to the end of the day, but only just. So let's pop in another 40 litres should be enough there. No, a little bit too much. Let's make it 35. Right, and go on to the next day. You see that 35 litres of fuel is enough to get us well past the first few stages on the Saturday. So let's pop another 30 litres in here. That's going to be too much. Another 25. You see there, that'll get us down into the afternoon. Western Range refuel. Let's pop another, let's have a look, 30 litres there. And that'll get us to the service. We'll put in at the BP at Resolution Drive, another 30 litres there, and see how we get on. So that 30 litres means that at the end of the day we've got something in the region of 44 litres in the car, and let's see how that runs. That's not quite going to get us through Sunday. We've got about 43 litres in there, which means we can probably put in another 10 litres first thing in the morning, and that'll get us to the end of the event. Now if we decide that we've got another 35 litres from the end back to home base, that'll get us there with about 15 litres in the car. So at the end of the sheet we have a schedule that covers the entire event. You'll see here these are the various low values of fuel that we've put into the car and the points that we've put them in at. So what you can do is allocate to one of your 4 refuelers each of the particular stops. So whoever's going to be at a particular location, you just use the drop-down list, and this will be the person that you put in charge at each of those points. As you go through the event, if you keep a track of how much fuel you put in, you can work out exactly how close your values were. So let's just say in the beginning we had 20 litres in the car, so that's probably going to stay at that value. In this case maybe we put in 32 litres instead of 35. I'm just tabbing through the document here, and maybe I only took 19 there, or 19 there, and 32 there. Then you can see fairly well if you've been running consistently using less fuel, then you know that you've actually been building up a bit of reserve as you go through the event. You can also put some comments into the comments column.